Hey everyone! Alright. Welcome back for another top 10. Now, this is going to be my top 10 favorite female Naruto characters. I do have a few other, like one or two other lists planned on Naruto, but I want to do this one first because Naruto has not had a huge list of active female characters. Okay? Really, I mean, a lot of people have accused Kishimoto of being sexist too, because I don't know if that's true or not. Okay? I honestly don't, but whatever the case, there are, well, 10, obviously, female characters in Naruto that I've deemed that are pretty good for what they're worth. That's why I'm going to count them down right now, my top 10 favorite female characters in Naruto. And at number 10, we have Sasame Fuma. Now, she was a character from part 1, and I know she was a filler character, I'm going to say right now. I'm aware, okay? She was in the, I believe it was called the Land of Rice Fields arc, or the Land of Sound arc, or something like that, when Naruto, Sakura, and Jiraiya went to try to find Orochimaru's new hideout to hopefully find Sasuke as well. And they ran into her and the Fuma clan and whatnot. Yeah, this was a different Fuma arc from the Fuma clan and that resides in the Land of Fire. Although I believe that was still in part 1. I could be wrong about that, but this is a different one. Okay. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the Kurama clan. Never mind. Anyways, the reason why I like Sasame so much is, well, first off, her reaction to Jiraiya. She's yet another character who's not afraid to kick Jiraiya's ass because his perverted and, in this arc, seemingly pedophilic nature. Yeah, I know it's kind of creepy, but it's what it seems to be. You know, but also she's a really sympathetic character with her backstory and her clan's backstory with Orochimaru and whatnot. How her clan was forced to work for Orochimaru. The ones who chose not to were banished from his organization and left to die, and the ones who chose to so that they could live, but also because he said that he could help their clan. Of course, we all know that's a fucking lie. He has no intention of helping anyone but himself. But when someone, first off, when someone doesn't know someone that well, obviously, and also when someone's desperate enough, they'll do weird things. It's just human nature. And Sasame was one of them, I guess, who decided to work for Orochimaru, but then, if I recall correctly, fled later on. But her brother and a lot of her other clan members were still there, and she wanted to save them. And that basically sets up the main plot of this arc. For those of you wondering, no, they don't find Sasuke, or else we probably wouldn't have a need for Shippuden. Scratch that, we would, but Shippuden would be so much better if Sasuke was dead right now. Anyways, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. But anyways, so that's why Sasame Fuma is at number 10. Number 9, we have the 5th Muzukage, Mei Terumi. Now, probably wondering why she's on this list, because she doesn't have that huge of a role. Simply put, it's because of how strong she is. Obviously, she's the 5th Muzukage, and it was because of her that, you know, she's helped, after Yagura, the 4th Muzukage's death, she helped the village hidden in the mist go from Blood Mist Village to a normal, caring village. And also, she has 2 KK Genkais. She has the Lava style and the, I forget what it's called, like the Mist style or the Smoke style or something like that, where I believe it messes with a person's chakra and whatnot when they're in it. Haze style, I don't fucking know, but yeah, she has 2 KK Genkais. How fucking awesome is that? Those are basically the reasons why she's on this list. She's just really awesome, although if you play the game, although she is a real slut. Oh yes, play the games where she's playable. You'll see what I mean. Anyways, and plays her, of course. Anyways, next up, number 8 is Temari, from the village hidden in the sand. Now, Temari is just a really awesome character and was one of the few examples in the series of a really strong woman in Naruto. Was one of the first anyways. Now we have quite a few, but she was one of the first though, because she was introduced during the Chunin exams all the way back in part 1. Alright. Now, Temari earns points because, well, the first fight that you see her in, she completely fucking annihilates Tenten. Like, Tenten's one of those examples of female characters in Naruto that are worthless beyond belief. People call Sakura worthless, and I guess they just don't even fucking look at Tenten. What is Tenten? I mean, at least Sakura's done some things useful in the series, in part 2 anyways, and I'll talk about that later on in this video, hint hint. But what has Tenten done? Her only major fight in the series, she lost badly, and that was in the Chunin exams, obviously, versus Temari. And Temari's ability is just really cool. It's a wind style ability as she controls with her fan, and she has like different. There's 3 moons that'll show up on it, and once all 3 moons are there, she's able to use her strongest technique. Excuse me. It's just really cool, I think. You know, and plus she's extremely cocky, and she seems to have a romantic relationship at this point, or at least a crush on Shikamaru. And I've always been more of a fan for Shikamaru and Ino, but you know, I don't really think Shikamaru and Temari is a terrible couple. It would just seem kind of odd to me because they both live in different villages and whatnot, and well, Shikamaru and Ino's basically been in the same squad in the same village since the beginning. So, but anyways, all that aside, I just really think Temari's a really awesome character, and I said one of the first, but she's probably the first example of a really strong female character in Naruto. I'm not even kidding there either. Next up is, number 7, Chio, also known as Granny Chio, the grandmother of Sasori of the Akatsuki. Now, Chio earns major points because despite being old, I mean, if I were to take a guess, I'd say she's probably older than the 3rd Hokage, which, doing simple math, was probably in his 80s when he died. She's so strong, and she's mastered the puppets master ninjutsu, and even has a special technique, which I forget what it's called, but Sasori admits that she was able to take down an entire castle with those like 8 to 10 puppets. I forget exactly how many, but yeah, not to mention most of the time she's a goof off unless she gets in really serious battles, such as with Sasori, and she's even willing to give her life in the end in order to resurrect Gaara after the Shukaku was extracted from him by the Akatsuki. So because of all of that, she definitely earns major points with me, okay? Next up, number 6 is Anko Mitarashi. She's once again one of the first few examples of strong female characters in Naruto. I even go to say, yeah, she showed up around the same time as Temari did. She was the proctor for the 2nd round of the Chunin exams. Temari showed up before that, but she didn't really show off her skills. But, so I'd say that, and Anko didn't really show off her skills till much later on, but I love her history with Orochimaru. I don't want to say relationship, that'd be kind of bad, but I love her history with Orochimaru. And I love how she has a curse mark. One of the few flaws I found about her character is I kind of wish it was revealed what her curse mark is of, although it might have been, I don't remember. But I know for a fact her 2nd stage curse mark was never revealed. She's never seen using her curse mark. I kind of wish Orochimaru would have backed her into a corner or someone where she would have to use it. Like, she would lose all control. The steel on it would break, and it would be unleashed. And then we get to see her 2nd stage. Maybe Orochimaru push her through the 2nd stage training. I think that would have been really cool. But all things aside, she's still a really cool character. She reminds me much of Tsunade, hint hint. in terms of her personality, but even she's afraid of Tsunade. Like, most of the characters in the series are afraid of her. Even she's afraid of Tsunade. So, yeah. But anyways, that's why Anko is at number 6. Number 5. Number 5 is Konan of the Akatsuki. Now, the reason why I like Konan so much is simply because, well, let's start with her backstory, okay? She grew up as one of the 3 Hidden Rain Village orphans alongside Yahiko and Nagato. And along with Yahiko and Nagato, she was trained by Jiraiya to be extremely powerful ninja and basically defend herself. Alright? After that, when Yahiko formed the Akatsuki, she and Nagato basically co-founded the Akatsuki, and were just under him in power. Okay, she was even kind of split when Tobi, or Obito, whoever the fuck you want to call him at this point, comes in. Like when Obito comes in, asks Yahiko. I guess she wasn't really split, but when Obito comes and asks Yahiko to join the Akatsuki, and Yahiko even threatens Obito if he comes to them again, and Nagato wants to join. Konan's basically on the side of Nagato in this one, in the sense that, you know, she knows that the Akatsuki needs more power. She's always been in love with Yahiko, even though that Nagato has been in love with her. And yeah, that's basically it. Also, there's her KK Genkai ability, the paper style. I forget what its official name is. It might be paper style. I'm not sure. But that brings me to one of my few flaws with her character. Probably the only flaw is that she's never really, her KK Genkai is never really elaborated on. Like, you see it, but the only major fight she's in where she actually uses it a lot is her fight with Obito in the Rain Village. And even then, it's like, was so much more that Kishimoto could have done with that type of jutsu. I just feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity, you know. But anyways, all that aside, she's still an awesome character and definitely deserves the number 5 position on this list. Number 4, Ino Yamanaka. Now, she's another example of a female character in Naruto who is pretty strong. I mean, in part 1, like Sakura, she's useless. Well, next to useless anyways. She barely does anything. That's a lot of female characters in part 1. They barely do anything. In part 2, they get a lot more screen time. But which is why there's quite a few part 2 characters on this list, like Chio and the 5th Uzukage and freaking Konan, and yeah. So some notable abilities of hers are the mind transfer technique and the body control technique, I forget what it's called. And also in part 2 she has healing abilities as well. And I think she might have monstrous strength, I'm not exactly sure, but all that aside, I just think she's a fun character. You know, she's not the best, obviously, because she's only number 4, but she definitely deserves this high position on this list to me. Number 3 is Hinata Hyuga. I know, if I didn't put her on this list, oh, I would be getting the hatred. But let me tell you why I didn't put her as number 1 like a lot of people would. I guess it's just sort of a bias that I have, because I've never really been one for the quiet girl, okay? Guess it's just me. Screensaver go off, thank you. Guess it's just me, but yeah. Okay. Guess it's just me, but she's still an awesome character. In part 1, she's another one of the many characters who's first introduced during the Chunin exams, and you first see a major fight with her when she fights Neji in the preliminaries. And although she loses, you really get invested in that battle. And it also, of course, sets up for the finals where Naruto fights him. But, you know, and in part 2, she gets so much stronger as well. You see her using her Byakugan so much more often. And she's really skilled with the Byakugan in part 2. She's even able to stand up against Neji, which is great, you know, even though he's a Jonin. And, I mean, obviously she's strong in part 2 because she did make Chunin. So, yeah, during the time skip and whatnot. Another thing is that, of course, she does have medical ninjutsu, apparently. As well. So, yeah, all that considered, Hinata is a really great character, I think. Definitely worth the position in number 3 on this list. Number 2, now, let's see time. Okay, now I know this is where a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. Sakura Haruno. Yeah, now, I'm going to get this out of the way first so no one has to comment it. She was useless in part 1. I'm aware of that. The only major fight she had against Ino in the Chunin exams ended in a draw. I'm aware. She was a useless character in part 1. She did next to nothing except oogle over Sasuke. And she still does that too. She still lusts over the memory of Sasuke. And yes, I'm calling it lust. It's not fucking love, okay? And maybe I'll do another video on that in the future, on exactly why I call it lust instead of love. But in part 2, she is really useful. Tsunade trained her so that she has monstrous strength and incredible healing abilities, rivaling even Shizune's, whose in the past was only rivaled by, well, probably Kabuto's and Tsunade's. But let's count how many useful things she did. Now, this first one here isn't exactly useful, more it is just kind of cool how she and Naruto were able to team up to defeat Kakashi in the beginning of part 2, even though when they had Sasuke with them, they couldn't even do that when they were Genin. So that, oh, Naruto's still Genin, but anyways, though, that's really cool right there. But also, here's something that's really useful. She helped Chio defeat Sasori, a member of the Akatsuki, and she even laid the final blow too, which is really cool. Alright, she healed Chio so that Chio could revive Gaara. She took part in this war as a healer, which, I mean, you may think, well, a lot of other women do that, but there's a lot of women who stayed out too. So, yeah, the simple fact she was willing to take part is really saying something. Let's see here, what else did she do? I know she's done quite a few other things. I mentioned these during my rant on why I like Sakura so much. So you can go watch that if you want to find out. But overall, I just really think Sakura's a great character. Her only major flaw I can think of is that she needs to give up on Sasuke. He's a lost cause at this point. He is unredeemable, but Naruto has the same flaw too, so I can't even really count that as the flaw. Both of them need to give up on fucking Sasuke. Anywho, moving on to number 1. Tsunade Senju. Yes, I'm calling her Senju because for some reason the only one point in the entire series thus far is she ever referenced as a Senju, even though she is a fucking Senju. And what we're doing on time here. Okay, we have got plenty of time left. Hope my camera doesn't cut out on me though. Yeah. Tsunade. Oh boy. And then when she first introduced, it is kind of lame because she's afraid of fucking blood. But she gets over that fear eventually, of course. The thing about Tsunade is that, of course, her monstrous strength. Her incredible healing abilities.